My name is Ailbhe Gerrard. I'm farming Brookfield Farm on the shores of Lough Derg, County Tipperary. The farm is really diverse. It's a mixed farm. I'm farming 84 acres in total, most of it owned, but a little bit rented in. And it's a mixture of about a quarter broadleaf trees, some of it native woodland. I grow barley and other tillage crops organically. And we keep sheep, an organic flock of breeding sheep. And also I keep bees, and we grow experimental crops like drizzle artichoke. And one year we did the vegetables and beans and peas and that kind of thing. The sheep, I just adore them. We quite often use them to graze down the grass here in this old orchard, and they live out all year round. We have about 35, and they've just been sheared, so the older ones are happier. And we sell the lambs directly as freezer lambs. So once they leave the farm, they're no longer organic, but they're sold as happy, well-fed lambs. We have a great local butcher. He's a really good craft butcher who's also a farmer. So he hangs really well and cuts really well. And then we take the lambs back, the carcasses back, and send them on to people who've ordered them. Generally, I've no trouble selling the lambs. Quite often there's a waiting list, actually. And on the website, there's an opportunity to do a reserve. So you put €20 deposit on, and then whenever the lamb is ready, we let you know, and then you pay the balance. So that works really well. Selling directly gives you a surety of price. And that when people know your quality, they're very happy to pay the price that you charge. And it's much more stable price. So people know that the price doesn't vary up and down the way a commodity price does. So that works better for people and for us. The trees are really, for me, really important. This ancient orchard was actually all engulfed with scrub when I came here in 2015. So we cleared it out, and it's got really, really still, even though the trees are really old, it's still really productive. We produce a lot of apple juice, and one famous year we made cider, which took quite some time. So the sheep run around under the trees and keep the grass down a bit. Not at the moment, but generally. In the winter, we sometimes let the sheep into the woods, and that provides great shelter for them. They eat the ivy, and they do all sorts of cleaning up around the bases of the trees, which is great. So we've got a native wood behind us that is great shelter for the sheep. And down on the main farm, we've got a 15-acre broadleaf wood that we're really interested in working a pilot project to put cattle in and see how that works. So we're moving them around from sector to sector in the wood, and we have an ecologist to work with us to assess the impact on the flora in the wood. I'm interested in continuous cover as a method of forestry. So that means you don't ever clear cut. And the idea is that we have to get the balance between not having the seedling trees and the sapling trees chewed down to nothing by the animals, and let some come on up so that you've got trees constantly growing. And once they get to a certain size, then there isn't a problem. But young trees are very palatable to animals, so we have to just get that balance right. Bees on the farm, they're the native Irish honeybee, so we're really proud to be a conservation area for the native Irish honeybee. And they live on the farm and they forage around. There's lots of lakeshore plants. Bees, being woodland insects, they really like to be able to forage for nectar from trees like horse chestnut, sycamore, and oak, and all the other trees. I find that it's the slightly older farmers in their 20s, they haven't quite realised that this system of farming where you're producing commodities doesn't work. I find it's the older farmers who have realised that the high input, high output productivity model doesn't suit them, doesn't suit their families, doesn't suit family farms, doesn't suit water quality, soil quality, the habitats that animals depend on. So they're turning towards other options, and organic is one of the options that farmers are looking at, because there's no one suits all solution. It's every farm, it has its own needs and niches, and organic would be just part of that. As a small, diverse farm, I realised that it's the only way I can operate. For instance, the barley we are selling, we're delighted to get the contract with Waterford Distillers, so we're selling our barley to make whiskey. Before that, as a conventional tillage farmer, you just went to the co-op, and I didn't feel great about it. So everything I produce is sold directly, both honey and which isn't organic, and apple juice, and potatoes, and whatever we're doing.